Solve quadratic equations by completing the square. Example 1, factor x squared plus 10x plus 25. So this is just regular factoring. Factors is 25 that add up to 10. That is x plus 5 times x plus 5. It doesn't say solve, so there's no equal 0. Okay. So this is what it looks like in factored form. And then or you could do x plus 5 squared. So again, your answer can also be written as x plus 5 squared. Okay, and that's what we have here. All right, so question 2. X squared plus 14x plus 49. So what are the factors of 49 that add up to 14? Well, I know that 7 times 7 is 49 and 7 plus 7 is 14. So this is x plus 7 and x plus 7. All right, this can also be written as x plus, ooh, that's an ugly 7. Hold on. X plus 7 squared. Okay, so those two are factored. All right, so determine the number needed to complete the perfect square trinomial. All right, now if you were paying attention, these two trinomials have perfect squares at the end of them. And also two quantities or entities that are the same thing multiplied times each other to give you a product, which is a perfect square. So that's what makes these expressions perfect square trinomials. All right, because same as you have 5 times 5 to give you 25, two quantities of this that are the same multiplied times each other to give you a perfect square. These are two quantities that are the same multiply times each other to give you a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so this is one of the steps in completing the square, which is what we're going to do after this. But I kind of want you to get used to finding this number. So to find the number that goes in the blank box, you are going to do b over 2 squared. All right, and that is the formula to adding your new c term, because remember it's ax squared plus bx plus c. So the box is your new c term. So whatever your b is, you're going to divide it by 2 and then square that number. Okay? All right, so your b here is 4. So you're going to do 4 divided by 2 squared. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 4 is what goes here. All right? The question 2, you have x squared plus 10x plus blank. So you're going to do 10 divided by 2 squared, which is 5 squared, which is 25. All right, I want you to tell me the missing C terms for questions 3 and 4. Those are your U tries. All right. So I have a step-by-step list here in order to guide us through. So solve by completing the square. We have x squared plus 6x equals 16. All right. So normally the quadratic equations that you get, the C term will be on the right side of the equal sign. And then when that's the case, your coefficient of A, your leading coefficient of A must be 1. That's step 1. Or you would have to divide all those terms by A. In this case, all of your leading coefficients will be 1, so you don't really have to worry about that. Step 2, isolate the terms, meaning move C to the other side. Well, that was already done for us. C is already on the right side of the equal sign, so that's done. If it isn't, if it said minus 16, by the 6x, then you would add 16 to both sides so that it could look like this. All right. So step 3, we're skipping straight to step 3. Take b over 2 squared and then add that number to each side. All right. So in this slide, we added it to the end of the expression, but there will be an equal sign, and then you would have to add it to the other, and that's what we're going to do now. So x squared plus 6x. So now 6 is our b. So we're going to do 6 divided by 2 squared. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides of my equal sign. All right, so now I have x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 16 plus 9. All right, so the first thing I want you to look at, this number here, this 3 on the inside of the parentheses, is how you're going to factor the left trinomial. All right, so the left trinomial is going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3. Because I know 3 times 3 is 9 and 3 plus 3 is 6. Whatever that number is, this is like a shortcut, whatever that number is in parentheses is always going to be your factored form. All right, so that becomes x plus 3 squared. All right, so this isn't the 16 plus 9. This is just the left side. So my left side is x plus 3 squared. Now I'm going to add 16 plus 9. That's going to give me 25. All right, so now in order to continue solving for x, in order to get rid of this squared, you do the inverse operations. The opposite of squared is square root, so they cancel out. I'm left with x plus 3. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And remember, when you take the square root of a number, it's a positive and negative root. So x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 25. All right, I'm kind of going to go step by step and break it down even further. All right, so that was this whole step. Factor the perfect square trinomial. That's how we got the x plus 3 squared and express it as x plus a squared, same thing. Solve for x by using the square root method, and that's what we're doing now. All right, so we have x plus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 25. Square root of 25 is 5 plus or minus 5. So now these break off into two equations. We have x plus 3 equals a positive 5, and then we have x plus 3 equals a negative 5. So subtract 3 from both sides. You get x equals negative 8, and subtract 3 from both sides, and you get x equals 2. All right, so these are your final solutions or zeros or roots. All right, so that is how you complete the square. I am not going to have you do both of these because completing the square has a lot of steps. I only want you to do this one, okay? So you're going to take a picture of this, write your name on it, put lesson 29 at the top, and have this you try and these you tries that I identify, questions 3 and 4, on one piece of paper or separate sheets. Is up to you. All right, thank you so much. Stay safe.